on Sports 56. Here is your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshyn. Look up on the wall. There on the wall. Under the wall.
Good Monday morning. Thank goodness it only counts as one single game loss. OK City dominated all 94 feet. They sent a 51-point message not only to Memphis but to the entire NBA. There's a reason we were the best team, best record this year, best defense, most double-digit wins in the history of the league. There's a reason that we are a one seed, and they absolutely pasted the poor Grizzlies. We'll get into that in a second. Just one quick message, because there is news this morning that is of sad news, but one life that was incredibly well lived. What a man Pope Francis was, who passed away early this morning at the age of 88. He was known for his kindness. He was known for social and economic justice. I was reading about him this morning. He was put as a young man into positions of leadership, and some of those came with privilege. I think there was one position in Argentina where by right he could have lived in a palace and had a chauffeur and all this, and he chose to live in a one-room apartment and cook for himself because that was what he believed was moral and what was justice, and it was more about prayer and kindness than anything else. He was different. I think he was an outstanding pope. This comes from a non-Catholic, so I really don't have probably any insight religiously to make that, but just my perception and what I've read about him was I think he was a unique and wonderful man. And he was the Pope for 12 years. And it was amazing to me that he, I guess, willed himself to do the appearance at Easter. He appeared there. He was before the people, and then it wasn't long after that he passed away. It makes you kind of think, as the older I get, the more I see that you know, obviously you don't have the total control of when you go and if you can stay on Earth, but I do think you can will yourself for a bit. And I think that may be what happened. I've seen people drop the rope and then pass away quickly, and this was the opposite case of that, Pope Francis passing away at the age of 88.
Yeah, coined by many as the people's pope. He lived a great life where he was a very well-respected figure. Rest in peace to Pope Francis.
Thank you, Elijah Seegers, as we get back to what we do best, and that is sports, and that is with these Grizz. And they were really in a good game for the first almost 10 minutes of the game. They were down with about 2:20 to go by 4 in the first quarter, and suddenly OKC just turned them over, just ran all over them. They ended up with 27-5 fast break points. And by the way, none of the starters were in when they got those 5 fast break points. It was 27-0 fast break points at one time, and a 34-5 run. You don't see too many of those, but with the Grizzlies and OKC, you see a lot of big runs in all these games, and they ran over Memphis to take the 1-0 lead. It was the worst playoff loss in Memphis team history, although the last playoff game they played in was against the LA Lakers, and they lost by 40. So you're talking about the last 2 playoff games the Grizzlies have played, they have lost by 91 points. That just is incredible. It was the 5th worst playoff loss in the history of the NBA. There were 2 58-point losses, one in 2009 and one in 1956. And they were flirting with that because they were down 56 in this game. They shot 34%, 18% from 3. They had 24 turnovers in this game. They had 8 shots that were blocked. So Thomas Isalo basically said, can't get any worse, right? He can only go up from here, and he's probably right about that, but I don't know what you can really do. What are the adjustments you can make? Maybe you play Marvin Bagley a little bit more. He was the one bright spot in this game. He ended up with 17 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block. Do you put Vince Williams back in as a starter? Because Pippen did not have a good game at all. But I don't really know what you can do. This is, and I did the math, after the 51-point loss, the Grizzlies have now lost 10 in a row to Oklahoma City by an average of 20.4, 20 and a half points a game. Right. That's 204 points. They're minus in 10 games the last 10 times they played the Oklahoma City Thunder. Tell me, is there a magic adjustment you can make to that? It's pretty clear. This team can't compete with that team.
No, I think the Thunder are the perfect antithesis for what the Grizzlies like to do. They defend pace better than anybody in the NBA by far. We know the Grizzlies like to get up and down. Turnovers have been their Achilles heel all season. We saw 24 of them yesterday, and I don't know if there's a game-to-game fix you can make to adjust that. I just think that they're outmatched in this series. I think that the Thunder do everything that the Grizzlies struggle with, and they do it very, very well.
So I ask you this question, and it's for everybody out there. I almost am to the point, this team is really good. I mean, this team may end up being like the Michael Jordan Chicago Bulls in the end, with SGA being the way that – and he had a bad game. Think about that. All their other starters were good. He had a bad game, 15 points, and they still win by 51? I almost think you have to, like, for instance, if you're evaluating Tuomas Isalo, don't you have to throw this out? Is this fair to judge him in this series? Now, you may want to start thinking about, is this core 3 good enough to compete eventually with some pieces like the addition of Zach Edey and whatever you may maneuver through a draft this year? What, you're not keeping that first round draft choice anymore. Whatever you can do, it looks to me like that you would take into consideration. The best team in your conference has beaten you 10 times in a row now, and they're going to win this series. I don't know if they'll sweep. You would think they would. But the most, maybe Memphis will win one game in Memphis. But you do have to think, is this core 3 ever going to be good enough to even win the West, let alone an NBA title? I think this series is good for judging that. But I don't think it's fair to Isalo to judge him on this, because clearly this OK City team is playing on all its cylinders, and Memphis is not. I don't know if Ja is 100%, but he had an off game. But I'm going to give the core 3 a rust here. So I'll get into those numbers in a minute, but it's pretty evident to me. And I said this a few weeks ago. I don't see a championship out of this grouping, out of these 3 guys. I like them all. I think Ja sells tickets. That's a tough call to take your superstar, who, by the way, is going to get a positive medal because he got another shoe release coming. So he's clearly popular. He clearly sells tickets. But can this grouping win a title? And I think if you look at the makeup and the youth, Houston's a better team. OKC's a better team. Golden State has upset Houston already. They're a better team. And I think they're going to be good for a couple of years because Butler's not going to go anywhere. I mean, I just don't see this team with this grouping as it is going to advance much further than 3rd, 4th, 5th in the West. That's just the way it appears, unless somehow, some way, everybody gets better next year.
Yeah, and it's not like you said, the teams at the top are going anywhere. OKC is younger than them. Houston is younger than them with their core at this point. You've got the Spurs on the rise. Even the Trailblazers are a team who could, factor in a year or two. So it's not like the West is getting any easier as this core grows together. The West is getting stronger. The West is getting older from our young team's perspective, and OKC's already at the top. And I don't even think this is the best version of OKC that we could potentially see, which is the scary part because, like you said, they led the league in net rating this year. They had the most double-digit wins in NBA history. So it's not like this juggernaut is going anywhere anytime soon. I do think that this experience is a good one for them to gain, despite them, being clearly outmatched in this series, just to see what it's like to play a team of this caliber.
Yeah, I think Zach Kleiman's got some really interesting decisions to make beyond the coach. He's got to figure out, as I think we are all being awakened to here, this core three that they have to build around that they really thought 3 years ago was going to bring a title. I don't think they have enough in there to do that. So he's going to have to make some decisions. On Monday, we do a thing called Precious Metal. We are sitting in the Family Leisure studio. I was there. I ended up picking up a robot cleaner for my pool, and I can tell you it looks so good in there. They have redone it. It's just a fun place to go in. You're going to be greeted at the door by Billy Connolly. He'll be there. You might want to ask the owner to come and give you a tour because it looks just fantastic. And they know it's pool time. That's why they're already booking the pool installs for 2025 by now and really get some priority on that installation list. They sell so many of these above-ground pools. You want to get on that list as soon as you can so you know your pool will be in for when the weather really starts to line up. The liners are starting at $299 and the pools are under $2,000, and all pool accessories are up to 20% off. All you got to do is get to I-40 and Whidden Road. Let's give out some good and some bad. We'll start with my bronze medal, and I got a couple for everything here. My Chicago Cubs. I know they lost in extra innings yesterday, but on Saturday, they were part of a historic run. 2-1 game going into the seventh. They end up giving up a 10-run inning and become one of the few, I should say, I think there's only 2 or 3 in Major League history, teams that give up 10 runs still win the game. They had like a 6-1 or 7-1 lead. They gave up the 10, and they came back and won the game 13-11. And if you had the Cubs in the 13-run rule contest, you won that too. What a good deal for the Cubs, who win that game over Arizona 13-11. They've had some wild games with the Diamondbacks already. I got to give a bronze to Ja, and there's 2 reasons why. Forget yesterday. Ja's performance against Dallas, while clearly limping, that was, I thought, courageous to a certain extent, because he just had 2 different injections, ignored all the pain, ignored ramifications from all of that, and went out and produced. And that was an emotional and a terrific game to get them to play OKC in this best of 7. That was amazing. And he just got, or it's coming, the release, it was announced, his 3rd signature shoe from Nike. So forget all the troubles and the craziness with the new celebration that he's got with a grenade and all the controversy around that. Nike knows he sells, because they're counting on him with a 3rd signature shoe. That's pretty impressive in its own right. Oh, and I got to put Jalen Wells. Got to give him a bronze. He's one of 3 finalists for Rookie of the Year. Don't think he's going to win it, but just the fact that he made it and look where he was taken in the draft, that's a feather in Zach Kleiman's cap for sure. I'm going to give 2 silvers. One will go to the Golden State Warriors and Jimmy Butler. I mean, they were terrible. They were, I think they were a game under 500 when they got Jimmy Butler. I want to say they might have been the 10th seed, if that. And this guy yesterday, 25-7 with 6 assists, 5 steals. 5 steals. And, of course, Curry's always going to get his. But Butler's made a difference. Draymond Green's playing unbelievable defense, and they upset Houston, the 2 seed, so a 7 seed wins. And Jimmy Butler was critical. He scored 6 points in the final 143 to make sure the upset occurred. I'm not a big Jimmy Butler fan. He's left 2 teams, the Bulls and Miami, in disarray by leaving. I think, a selfish guy. But on the floor, when it counts, he'll play team ball. And he's outstanding. He gets rewarded because now it looks like they've stolen home court advantage. You would have to think. They look better than Houston. I watched that whole game last night. They look better than Houston. The silver medal will go to Justin Thomas. And we will talk with Ted Butler about JT in our final segment of the show. JT had a 2.5-year drought. I didn't realize this either until I was listening to the guys. He becomes only the 7th guy to have 16 tournament wins. This was his 16th PGA Tour win. He's had 2 majors that he's won. He's only the 7th guy, and every one of these other guys are Hall of Famers, from Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, Johnny Miller, all these guys. Rory is another one to have done it. Before the age of 32, to win 16 events and have multiple majors, that's pretty incredible company. I would not have thought JT was in that company, but he is. So you got to give him a lot of credit. And he gets that first tour win in 2.5 years for my second silver, and then 2 golds. 1 will go to the Memphis women's tennis team. They were the 6th seed. I think if you look, their regular competition this year, they're under 500. And yet there's Leftwich Tennis Center magic, that new facility at Southern and Getwell. My goodness, they win. That means they get in the NCAA. The men finish second. They have a chance to get in the NCAA. But the women's tennis team is in, and they were the 6th seed in the conference tournament. They get a gold from me, and then, of course, OKC. They won the playoff by 51 points, and they did it without a great game from their superstar SGA, but all the other starters had double figures. They have incredible defense, and as I mentioned earlier, they have won 10 straight over Memphis by an average of 20.5 points a game. Wow.
Incredible stuff. I'm going to give my bronze medal to the Cincinnati Reds, who, if you missed it yesterday, beat the Baltimore Orioles by a score of 24.
24.
24 runs.
Crazy.
Crazy stuff.
But
they are
the
11-11 on the season, so hovering around 500. Not been a remarkable season, but a remarkable day where they had a lot of guys have multi-hit, multi-RBI games.
Did I see
totaled in 24 runs. So that's pretty incredible. My silver medal.
Didn't I see the 8 and 9 hitters in that lineup had like 13 RBI?
They did.
Something crazy. That's wild.
Wild stuff indeed. I've got my silver medal like you. I think you gave him a bronze, but I got Jalen Wells here, finalist for Rookie of the Year. First second-round pick, by the way, to be a finalist for this award.
Really?
Since 2019, Kendrick Nunn.
That's really interesting. I did not realize that. How about that?
Yeah. Big-time company for Jalen Wells. He's had a great year, like you said. I don't think he'll win it, but great honor nonetheless. And at my gold, I've got Rafinha. Going to some international soccer here with FC Barcelona. If you missed this weekend, Barcelona trailed Celtic in the La Liga quarterfinals by a score of 3-1 in the 65th minute. And Rafinha, in the final 35 minutes of this game, or match, puts the club on his back, 2 goals, 1 assist, to win 4-3,
Wow.
win the aggregate over Celtic to advance to the semifinal round.
Impressive stuff, for sure. I did not realize you were such an international tennis fan.
I dabble from
There
time
you
to time.
go. Man of many, many talents. And those are the positives. I've got 2 that are stinkers. The rust medals from me. This week, we got to begin with the core 3. The Grizz core 3 yesterday, 11 of 42 from the field, 2 of 16 from three-point range. Triple J and Bain combined for 13 points. Jaron Jackson Jr. had 4 points in this basketball game. And by the way, was not a finalist for Defensive Player of the Year. So it was just a horrible weekend for him. They were like 5 of 25, 1 of 4, 1 of 10 from three-point range, and they had 7 turnovers. Those two. Ja did get 17 and 4 assists, but he was 6 of 17, 1 of 6 from 3. Had trouble really getting into the paint, and that's what OKC does. They take away point paints. I think he hit his first 3 and then missed the next 5. So if he can't hit threes, that's tough. The whole starting lineup in this game, 36 points. 36 points. Now, they didn't play much at all in the fourth quarter. They had 24 turnovers and only 18 assists. 24 turnovers. Just bad stuff. And, they lost their last playoff game to the Lakers in 2023 by 40. So the last 2 playoff games, these guys have lost by a combined 91 points in 2 games. That's just like, that can't happen. It's an aggregate of 45.5 points per loss. How does that happen? And then my final rust will go to the Memphis Showbus. They're the only 0-4 team in the league. I didn't realize this. I had that down already, but I didn't realize they're also the only team in the league. Hard to believe, 4 games and their defense has been pretty good, but they're the only team in the UFL that has not created a turnover. They have no takeaways in 4 games.
What?
Yes.
No way.
I know, it's hard to believe.
It's crazy stuff. For my rust, I have the Grizzlies as well. Hard not to after 51-point loss yesterday. Biggest margin of defeat in a Game 1 in NBA history ever. Largest playoff franchise loss ever. Like you said, the core 3 is going to have to bring it. All 3 of them are going to have to bring it to win a game in this series. And none of the 3 really brought it to the level that we know they can play at. And they didn't get much help from the role players either. So I've got to give a rust to the entire Grizzlies team for yesterday's pretty embarrassing performance.
Yeah, I don't see how they win a game in this series, but maybe you get one at home, gentleman's sweep. I don't see it, but I hope so. I hope they get one at least. And those are our medals. They are brought to you by Miramichi. I went and played Miramichi on Saturday. I got to tell you something. This was a golf course that was underwater like 2 weeks ago, not even that. And it's amazing the shape that it is in. It's such a beautiful place to play. The back nine I always talk about is like taking a stroll through the woods and hills, and there's a stream that meanders. And it's just a gorgeous place, and it is truly a wonderful test of golf. Considering they had a flood and we haven't had warm nights yet, I think pretty decent conditions. So go check it out. I think you'll love the experience. They are open on Mondays now, so you can get out there today and play. Thursday's the day. They have the best rates. They have the best food in the clubhouse with great service. They had a cart grill yesterday or Saturday. They make it easy to enjoy a total golf experience at Miramichi. We take a quick break, and when we can come back down to Tampa, we go. Our man TJ Reeves comes your way. That's in just a moment.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
Chris Price here with Metro Builders Memphis. In the wake of the large storm systems that passed through the Mid-South, our 8 shingle crew, 3 TPO commercial flat roof crews, and even 2 metal and tile crews are all out assisting policyholders. We won't stop until all have been restored to pre-storm condition. Many homes throughout the Mid-South were hit by hail, 1 inch, 1.5 inch, and yes, even 2 inch hail fell in the Mid-South. Many times hail damage will go unnoticed. Many people think it's no big deal. However, shingles and yes, even metal roofs are compromised. In time, show signs of leaks and on metal leaks, rust due to breaking the coating, which in turn ends up leaking. If you had hail and high winds, look up, or better yet, have us come look up for you. Water left unattended will turn sports56.com.
Go where you can buy with confidence, because at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike, no current inventory is affected by new tariffs. So come find your new ride at Gossett Mitsubishi, like 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV plug-in hybrid with a combined range of 420 miles. We Gossett at only $349 per month. Or take your pick from new 2025 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross or new 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. Your choice, we Gossett. Only $399 a month. That's a brand spanking new Eclipse Cross or Outlander Sport, $399 a month. Plus, peace of mind with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So forget the tariffs and remember to get to Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or online anytime at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
SCO 11871, MSRP 46,000, Cross SC 007521, MSRP 29545, Sport SU 002440, MSRP 286, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 895, excludes tax title license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about everything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys, beyond the bottle, Tito's has gained a reputation for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits around the world to serve its community and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's and learn more at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, mainly 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
You get the best of Memphis for lunch and dinner at Elwood Shack. Choose from house pastrami, corned beef, smoked turkey, roast beef, roast pork, beef brisket, and pulled shoulders, all made in-house. Elwood's fresh baked bread is delivered daily only in our bakery in Cordova, and all Elwood's cakes and sweet treats come from Frost Bakery. Open daily for lunch and dinner at Elwood Shack on Summer in the Lowe's parking lot. And the newest Elwood's at 4040 Boston Cross from the URL. Get the best of Memphis anywhere else at Elwood Shack.
Fill your spring with brilliant style at Sissy's Log Cabin. From the latest designer prints to one-of-a-kind pieces to exquisite diamonds, you'll find the jewelry you need for a stylish spring while enjoying the Sissy's promise of unmatched quality, service, and selection. Experience Sissy's for yourself when you stop by any of our 6 locations or shop online at sissyslogcabin.com. Create the style of your dreams only at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry. Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here's the voice of the Tigers,
We head down to Tampa, Florida. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers sideline reporter is TJ Reeves, a staple of the show for many, many years, and we will talk some NFL draft here in a bit. But I got to ask you about what happened in Tampa. The Yankees and the Rays are playing, and there's a no-hitter for Max Fried, and they go to the 8th, and all of a sudden they change the no-hitter on a play that was taking place in the 6th inning that was ruled an error that was changed to a hit. And then I don't know if Max Fried knew of that, but came out and gave up a legit hit to start the 8th, so the no-hitter ended. The Yankees still win the game. It was all non-consequential, except that they let everybody know that the official scorer, a guy named Bill Matthews, blew the call, changed the call, and nobody in the Yankees dugout knew until the legit hit in the 8th, and everybody's up in arms about it.
Oh, listen, it's good to be with you. When is a no-hitter not a no-hitter?
Yeah,
that's what you're saying.
Right.
Apparently, when we retroactively go back and look at things. Okay, so a couple of things real quick. I mean, you have so many subplots going on here where the Rays are having to play in the Yankees spring training home, as we've gone over with you and with your audience. So that's crazy subplot number one, that the Yankees are in the visiting locker room in the place where they've been in the home locker room all February and March, playing this series right next to Raymond James Stadium where the Buccaneers play. And a ton of Yankee fans wanted to get tickets and were able to grab tickets on the secondary market and through Ticketmaster, so it was almost like Yankee Stadium South anyway for these games. All right, further backdrop. The Yankees blew are you aware of this, a 4-run lead in the bottom of the 9th on Saturday evening, late Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. The Rays scored 4 times in the bottom of the ninth to tie them and then beat them on a 2-run walk-off home run in the 10th.
Wow, I did not know that.
So that's Saturday. So now we fast forward to Sunday, and the first batter of the game for the Yankees hits a home run. Top of the first batter of the game. So they're ahead 1-0. They're kind of cruising along. We'll get to the Aaron Judge controversy in a couple of moments because that was a big controversy on home run or not. So now we move to the 6th inning, and Fried, the left-hander, has not given up a hit. He had actually had a player reach on an error at that point, but he had given up a base runner and he had given up a walk, but he had not given up a hit. So on this play in the 6th, the Rays have called up a tremendously fast, maybe the fastest player in all the minor leagues, outfielder, infielder named Chandler Simpson. And Simpson swats at a free pitch and hits a 2-hopper towards first base, and that's where Paul Goldschmidt is, and your audience, the fans know him from the Cardinals recently, formerly the Diamondbacks. He's now with the Yankees. He doesn't cleanly field the ball off his glove. It looks like a booted ball. However, Goldschmidt, as you visualize this, is a good 25 feet away from first base, over in the hole towards second. He is never, Wolo, never going to beat Chandler Simpson to the base, and the pitcher is never going to beat him covering over there because he's nowhere near getting over to cover the base. So that's the play. Official score rules it error, and everybody moves on. He gets the next out. I think there were 2 outs when he got the final out. They move on. I am told, because I did some checking, I had New York media members calling me about this when the controversy happened. I am told that at that point there became some questioning of, we want to see the replay, he wants to look at it again, but bear in mind the official scorer, who they largely keep anonymous in these situations, he has to watch the next pitch and the next pitch and the next at-bat and the next at-bat. So it is usually in between innings this is done. So to just wrap all of this up, they eventually, over the course of about an inning and about 15 minutes of real time, have decided they want him to look at it again because this is a potential no-hitter for the New York Yankees, and it's rather obvious that Simpson was going to beat the ball out at first base. And without getting into all the minutia, they finally, through Major League Baseball, they have to contact the scorer and change everything through Major League Baseball if he's going to change it. And so he elects to change it, and they now announce in the press box, not on the PA where everybody out in the crowd can hear it, but they announce in the press box the official scorer has changed the play in the 6th inning to a hit. And so the New York media immediately goes crazy because the no-hitter's over. But simultaneous to this is the leadoff batter in the 8th inning, and the leadoff batter for the Rays singles like the 3rd pitch of the 8th inning into the outfield anyway, clean single, clean base hit, no-hitter over. So we were elaborating, Wolo, on a controversy that really wasn't that big of a controversy in the end because the Rays got a clean hit anyway, and the pitcher Fried had no idea out on the mound that they had changed this error to a hit. Aaron Boone, who later got thrown out of the game in that same 8th inning, arguing a balls and strikes call. Aaron Boone got kicked out of this game. Aaron Boone said after the game, we didn't have any knowledge in the dugout they had changed it. We didn't know until a few minutes later that they had changed it, and so it doesn't matter, and he said it didn't affect the outcome of the game. The Yankees won the game anyway. So there you go, with all the story.
He actually thought it should have been a hit to begin
with.
So he
right away, he thought the scorer had gotten it wrong, is what Boone said after the game.
That's right. All right, let's move on to the NFL draft. It's going to take place.
Crazy moment there. The only other footnote is, this should be put out there. The Yankees television network, the Yes Network, put the official scorer on camera, put his name up there, and really put a figurative target on him for the New York fans, because those guys largely work in anonymity for their own security, and nobody's supposed to mess with them. And so that's something that I think that is being addressed from what I was told, and we'll hear more about that, because usually these guys are left alone to do their job. They're not publicized, they're not chastised, they're not ripped like this, but they put him right there on the Yankee broadcast for everybody to see and say, this is the guy that did it, so stay tuned. Not the final chapter. On to the draft, my friend.
Right. Well, just a little addendum to that. It's two cities I wouldn't want that to have happen to me. New York and
the crazier one, Hey, for 20 more seconds, the crazier one is Aaron Judge hit a home run that may have landed in Shelby County in the first part of the game. The game's 1-0. He blasted a ball down the left field line, and the umpires on the field called it foul, and they have this replay mechanism with the command center in New York, and they let the call stand, and it clearly looks like on the replay that the ball is a good 10 feet inside the foul pole. The minor league ballpark foul pole is not the same as the major league foul pole, but it clearly looked like a home run. They didn't overturn that. That was a worse call at that point for Judge with a 2-run homer that would have made the game 3-0. Yeah. And they let that stay. It was a wild day in Tampa, period. And I know you want to move on.
Well, that minor league stadium, it's obviously hard to judge some things, too. So, all right, let's go to the draft. How good is this draft? We've heard a lot. Who's the better quarterback? Is it Sanders? Is it Ward? I've always thought it was Ward. What's your sense of what we'll see later this week?
Well, Cam Ward is apparently going to be a Tennessee Titan coming up in your region. Yep. That's what it looks like, and the Titans are going to start over again at quarterback. Is this like the third time in 4 years or the fourth time in 5 years that they're going to start over again after doing this with Will Levis and Malik Willis? So I don't know that either one of these guys. I mean, everybody keeps talking about that Cam Ward could be Steve McNair. Can we settle down on that?
Yeah,
I don't know that Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders belongs in that sentence with Steve McNair. You agree?
Let me ask you this, point blank. I'm not sure either of those two quarterbacks, and it's clear they're the top two in this draft, are ever going to be starters in the NFL. How's that?
You mean long term? Long term? Because I mean, they're going to get a chance
Cam
to
Ward's
start
going to get a chance in Nashville. I agree with that because I think he's going to beat out Levis.
Or a better way is either one of them a starting quarterback in 2027? That's a great question.
Okay,
I don't believe
that's a fairer question. Right.
I don't believe in Shedeur Sanders at the next level, despite all the hype.
Yeah,
he got his number retired, by the way.
Oh my goodness,
his number retired by Colorado.
So Travis Hunter did too, and here's the thing that bugs me about that. I mean, this is strictly the theatrics that you get with Deion Sanders. Do you realize there are still players from the championship team of Paul McCartney of the guy just
Bill McCartney from Colorado, not Paul McCartney.
Right, Bill McCartney's team, of which a Memphian, Don Freese, who was the coach of the Pharaohs here, he was the defensive backfield coach on that team. There are stars from that team that haven't had their numbers retired. What did these guys win? I know
Hunter won the
Heisman. That's big, but
Shedeur is 13-12 in his 2 years at Colorado.
Yeah,
13-12.
Come on.
We're going to retire his number. Cordell Stewart, I believe, I think I saw this because I saw some Colorado guys sticking up for Cordell. He was 27-4, I believe, in his career at Colorado.
And what about the quarterback that passed away that was the leader of they had 2 or 3 great years with that guy, Anuse or
Sal Anesi,
Anese.
And they were All-Americans. Yes. My colleague from Compass Media, Chad Brown, was like a 2-time All-American pass rusher, all Big 8 player, sack leader at Colorado, and he said exactly what you said. Are we just going to gloss over all the players from the 90s, from the early to mid-90s, that would deserve recognition for a retired number? So that's crazy. I don't know that either one of them are going to be great and it's not a tremendous quarterback class this year overall. So the other interesting thing is I love the wild card Ashton Genty, the running back from Boise State, and who is going to take him. And I love how he put it out there. I will be like Saquon Barkley. I will come in and I will make an impact catching the ball. I mean, he's an excellent pass-catching running back. And, pass on me, I'm paraphrasing, pass on me at your own peril, at your own risk here.
Well,
but they've so de-emphasized running backs now in the NFL and in the draft. What if I told you that last year no running back got taken in the first round? 2 years ago, Bijan Robinson by the Falcons out of Texas was taken in the top 10. He was the only first-round running back. And the previous year, no running back taken in the first round.
Well, here's
3 straight drafts, one running back in the first round.
Well, here's your take. They've gone to passing games, right?
Right.
So that's one, and at the collegiate level too. So guys like Ashton Genty, where you primarily were a running team are rare. They don't happen all the time because of the wide open offenses both in the NFL and college. So the running back has become a devalued commodity, particularly since when you look at longevity of a running back, normally their careers last about 3 years. A quarterback can last 10 or 12. So what are you going to do? Who are you going to pay? You're going to pay the guy that you think is going to be around for the longest period of time.
But
you mentioned Barkley. What about McCaffrey?
Christian McCaffrey's another one. Correct.
So
Correct.
You've got a couple of guys who have been outstanding. I think the running game is coming back a little bit more. I would be surprised if Gentry doesn't go in the first round.
I think he will.
Yeah.
I don't know that he goes high, but I think somebody, especially, and this may work out better for him. He may end up on a much better playoff caliber team towards the bottom of the first round, which he would love. I know you got to go in a second. You and I are older. We're not get off my lawn guy. But could we have ever fathomed in years in the NFL draft in like the 1980s or the 1990s
no.
where you're taking 6 or 7 or 8 running backs in the first round, that in the last 3 NFL drafts there's been 1 running back taken in the first round? It's that de-emphasized. It's that devalued. It's incredible.
No.
But here we are.
But when I was young, they didn't throw the football like they do now. That's just the God's honest truth. There is some breaking news, not surprising news, but breaking news this morning. The guy that you watched in the Final Four, the guy that has been heralded as the next great NBA superstar, Cooper Flagg, the Duke do everything, has declared for the NBA draft. No big shock, but now it's official.
Is that really breaking news? I mean, is the next news that you're breaking that it's going to get dark later tonight? I mean, we all come on, Wolo. We all knew Cooper Flagg was going to the NBA.
It just came out. Well, don't blame me.
And forever, I was right there at that end of the Alamo Dome. Forever, his final play in college is a missed shot against Houston with less than 10 seconds left in the game. Could have won the game. Oh, what might have been. Because they were looking to write the fairy tale, obviously.
I know it.
Be one and done and win the national title. Didn't happen. It's crazy. And how scary, I know you got to go, how scary is he going to be in 2 years, speaking of 2 years from now?
I think he's
How
going to be
scary
really
is he going to
good.
be at 20 or 22?
I think he's going to be great. I really do. I think when you think about the last couple of drafts, you had Wembanyama and this guy. I mean, it's great for the NBA. There's no doubt. Here's the last thing. You got 30 seconds if you know the answer at all. There's been rumors about the American Athletic Conference coming to your hometown in Tampa. This thing was supposed to break at the Final Four. No word from anybody. And Memphis is in the mix with Wichita, Birmingham, and Tampa. What do you hear down there?
Okay, so I don't have anything official I'm digging for you, but isn't part of the rub they want the men's and the women's tournament to be at the same place? And a couple of these locales, including maybe Tampa, are saying, we can't have the arena for that long for both.
No.
Because in the case of Tampa, it's an NHL arena that you're using it during the season.
But here's the rub. Only Memphis is the only city of the 4 that bid that didn't include the women. Tampa did. So they've got it figured out how they're going to do it. But they have the women in the bid, and that's part of the reason why
I know you got to go.
The favorite.
Just understand this. They just had the women's Final Four here. They're going to have the NCAA tournament men's first round next year. They've had the SEC basketball tournament late 2000s, ACC men's tournament here before. Tampa could definitely host it. But it's interesting. I mean, if you're Memphis, you go all out. You get that tournament back in Memphis like it used to be in the CUSA days with Calipari. I'm saying that. I'm biased. I'm a Memphis alum. I don't want it to be in Tampa. You want it to be in Memphis if you can make that happen.
I agree. 100%.
Stay tuned. I'll keep digging for you. Stay tuned, my friend.
You're my man. We'll talk next Monday.
All right, be well.
That is TJ Reeves down in Tampa. He's brought to you by Southern Security. Whether you're a small business owner, maybe you're buying your first home, Southern Security is there to be your trusted financial partner. And they've been doing this for about 77 years now. They've been serving the Mid-South community with the best rates, the best service, and always the newest technology. Wait till you see this new building they're building in Collierville. It is amazing, and they've been voted the best credit union in the Mid-South for 6 straight years, working on a 7th. To find out how you can join the Southern Security family, it's simple. Go to southernsecurity.org, or you can actually talk to a human being, a team member at 901-452-7900. Southern Security is a proud supporter of U of M Athletics and 901 Women. They are federally insured by NCUA. This is Southern Security, your home team credit union. We take a break. When we come back, we'll head to summer golfing games. Our golf guy, that's Ted Butler, on the win by JT and a whole lot more. He comes your way next.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Kubota Orange Days are here, so come see them Saturday, April 26th for food, fun, and a lot of Kubota Orange. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and personal RTVs, get your perfect match. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months on select compact tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com. Kubota Orange Days, Saturday, April 26th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. with Sports 56 and Fat Larry's Barbecue from 11 to 1 at First Choice Farm and Lawn, 701 Highway 64 in East.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roofing. I have been told that my ads are all business and I should share some of my personality. Okay, I love tongue twisters, like the one about the terrific tasting toast by Taste Tester Toaster, or Big Black Bugs, Bleed Blue Blood, and of course Sally and her seashells. Or of course the ever-present I'm a Mother Pheasant Plucker, I plug Mother Pheasants. Okay, enough of that. If you want an honest, fair, reasonable roofing, siding, or gutter estimate, call Five-Ash Roofing at 367-0050. That's exactly what you'll get. No empty promises, no high-pressure sales tactics, and no fast-talking salesman trying to convince you that today and only today is the best day for you to get a new roof. For the record, the best day to get a new roof is when you're ready for one. Five-Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director of Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
I'm Sean Sewer with XMC Technologies, your local source for the best in office technology for over 30 years. We believe that being a technology partner means meeting our clients' needs as they change over time. That's why I'm happy to share that we are now Visual Edge IT. As cyber attacks continue to be a growing threat, our customers are asking for more cybersecurity and ransomware protection. For more information on how to protect your office, visit us at visualedgeit.com or call us locally 901-737-8910.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
All we hear is radio.
We head over to summer golfing games, and our golf guy, Ted Butler, joins us now. It was 2.5 years ago that Justin Thomas won a tournament. He wins in a playoff. It's 2 weeks in a row we've had a playoff. Andrew Novak, who'd ever heard of him before? But Justin Thomas was able to dispose of him on the first playoff hole with a long putt. It's the first time Teddy's won in 2.5 years. Can you believe that?
Yes. He's been struggling, and a lot of these guys do, but there shouldn't have been a playoff. Novak shouldn't have been there in the first place. You know, he drove in the trees on 11 and 12, and they both kicked back in the fairway. You know, they could have both been out of bounds. So, and it's good for golf that JT won anyway. He's a star, and people like him, and he's fun to watch, and it's good for the game. Novak, you know, that's his third, I guess, top three finish in the last 6 weeks.
Well, he is probably going to win a tournament sooner or later because he's got a really good
game.
Yeah. The thing about JT, this blows me away. If I had told you he becomes, I think it's the 7th guy in history to have won 16 PGA Tour events, multiple majors, and has accomplished that all before the age of 32. There's like 7 guys. They are
Right.
Nicholas, they are Tiger, they are Arnie, they are Johnny Miller, they're Rory McIlroy now. Do you put JT in that sort of level of greatness? Because I'll be honest with you, I don't. But when I read that he's only the 7th guy to do that before this age, it really kind of surprised me.
Well, they won a lot more than he did. I mean, he's won a few, but 15 times now?
16.
And that's
that was
good.
his
That's
16th.
a lot. It's hard to win now. I mean, I don't put him in the same class with those guys. You know, just like Jordan Spieth, if he does win the Grand Slam at Quail Hollow or Quail Ridge, whatever it is, that he gets in with Nicklaus and Palmer and Tiger and all them, I don't see that either.
No. By the way, it's Quail Hollow, Quail Ridge.
Quail Hollow,
I think
Quail Ridge, right, I got it.
Quail Ridge has closed. I think it's closed down, which is sad because I have many good memories of playing on that golf course in Bartlett. You know, it's always the same sort of debate when we talk about greatness from different generations. Do you think it's harder for a PGA Tour pro to win now with all these young guys that have come up and they've learned and they've been competing literally since they were 10 years old in national events if they were identified as prodigies early, and they get all the training and the benefit of video for swing and coaches like you that have worked with them? I don't know that we identified them as early. Do you think it's harder to be a multiple winner on the tour now than it was in Jack Nicklaus or Tiger Woods era?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's so many, like you just said, there's so many more good players now. They're coming from all over the world. You know, it's not just the United States, and they've got Taiwan and South America, and everybody's producing these great players. The technology's out there. The teaching, the drills they go through, you know, the video cameras, the high-tech stuff that we never had anything like that. You know, Palmer and Nicklaus, they didn't use cameras. Ben Hogan didn't use cameras. They just figured out how to do it. And they'd have one coach. Now there's coaches everywhere, and they're good. You know, people have learned a lot about golf now. And there's so many young, talented kids that I see that if they wanted to play golf, if they're dedicated enough, they could.
And that's the other thing. You've got to sort of decide earlier on. I mean, you used to be a guy'd be a great athlete. He'd play baseball, he'd play basketball, he'd play football. If you wanted to play golf, you could do that. If you were good enough to make your golf team, you'd be on it. But I don't think you can do that now. You sort of have to choose early, right?
Right. No, you got to specialize in golf now. I mean, I see it every day. These 13-year-old kids out here driving the ball 280 yards, 290 yards, and just on raw talent. And if they get some good coaching and get some desire, there's just no telling where it's headed. But it's definitely harder to win now, though. And that's what JT said yesterday, walking off the green. He said it is really hard to win now. And he's right.
Yeah. Well, you were talking about Jordan Spieth, right? He has the chance to get the career Grand Slam if he wins the PGA?
Yes.
And
he's nowhere near in the class of the other 6.
But here's the interesting thing about him. He won all of his other 3 majors in a span of, 18 months, right? He's had this one hot streak, and then after that, he's just been a rather average player. I like Jordan. I hope he gets it, but I wouldn't put him in the same league with any of the other guys, particularly even Rory. Certainly not Nicklaus or Woods.
No. Or Hogan. No, it's a different thing. Jordan's was a great player for about 3 years, made every single putt he hit, and he could hit the ball straight. Now he hits it sideways, and he's still got a great short game, or he's shooting 80.
Right. Well,
he's just his life is different now. You get married and have kids and things like that. Things change, and then he had the injury too.
He's won 2 or 3 tournaments, and I think at least one major, where he holed out from a bunker or a chip.
Right.
I mean, he's been very fortuitous in that regard. I do think he's one of the more I hate to say it, but it is. I think he's one of the more lucky guys to have gotten the wins that he has gotten. He clearly has a great game, don't get me wrong, but he's not been a consistent or a great ball striker like you could say. Justin Thomas hits the irons pretty darn well. And you know what? I give him credit for this. I've not been the biggest JT fan of all time, but he gave Xander Schauffele credit for helping him become a better putter, and that's what he thinks won that tournament for him yesterday.
Well, they help each other out. I mean, they're all pretty good friends, and if you need some help, they ask them, and they do it. I mean, it's a great camaraderie out there. Happens a lot.
Would that have happened in your day?
No, I think they did told you the wrong advice on purpose.
You don't think Arnie would have shared with Jack how to be a better putter?
Hardly.
Yeah. It's different. It's a different world, that is for sure. All right, we got the team event in New Orleans next week. Shane Lowry and Rory McIlroy, who skipped Harbortown, even though it was a signature event. He skipped it because he was going to defend this title that he won with Lowry last year. Do you like the event? Are you surprised that Rory decided to do that?
No, I think he probably just had to take a week off and just chill out. I mean, how could you play golf after winning the Masters that week? I mean, he had to go home, had to take some time off, and it's a fun event. And he and Lowry won last year, and they were seen on Bourbon Street the night after singing and partying and having a good old time. So they're really good friends, and I like the event. It's fun.
It's the only time we get it. I would think the most interesting thing for me is the alternate ball. That always puts you in dire straits and your friendship in jeopardy.
That's right. Friendship's definitely in jeopardy when you snap it in the woods and then he's got to go hit it.
All right, last thing, real quick. What's the biggest piece of advice you give a student when they're just starting to come back and play in the spring? Is there one big key that you want to share about just starting and, we don't have a whole lot of grass on the ground?
Well, if you have a teaching pro that you go to, definitely go get your fundamentals checked out first. Get your grip, get your stance, get your posture, get your alignment, get all the basic things in order before you start hitting golf balls, and then start with a short game. Start with wedges and kind of work your way back, but get some eyes on you first. The guys that go out and just pick up a club and start swinging it for 3 months, or it takes a while to get going again. But the bedrock fundamentals of grip, stance, posture, alignment, those things need to be checked out first.
So I guess it's time for me to come see you. The Spirit Shop, it's so easily located. It makes it easy to restock after this long week.